Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video on The Flash Season 9. Today we have some massive breaking news in regards to a special character from the Arrowverse's past who will appear in The Flash Season 9. So if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future DCTV videos later this year. So it was just announced that Stephen Amell is officially returning as Oliver Queen, aka Green Arrow, in The Flash Season 9, aka The Flash's final season. So this has been something that we've been expecting for a while. Fans have been hoping for it. We've been theorizing, could he come back? Well, Eric Wallace has come out and actually squashed all of those theories and confirmed, yes, it's officially happening. Stephen is coming back as Oliver Queen to the Arrowverse for one last time. And so I'm going to be reading through this article from the Flash podcast. Obviously, a lot of you guys know Andy if you tune into my live streams weekly. He often comes on and he does have a lot of information. And so he wrote this article on his website, theflashpodcast.com, where he has all of the information, including a big quote by Eric Wallace teasing Stephen Amell coming back. So this is how the article goes. You have been asking for it and you are finally getting it. The CW and Warner Bros. TV announced today that Arrow star Stephen Amell is officially set to appear in The Flash Season 9 as Oliver Queen. Amell will join his fellow Arrowverse stars Keenan Lonsdale as Kid Flash, David Ramsey as John Diggle, and Sendil Ramamurthy as Bloodwork in Episode 9, which will be directed by The Flash's own Danielle Panabaker. This will mark Amell's first appearance in the franchise ever since Arrow Season 8 and Crisis on Infinite Earths. Showrunner Eric Wallace said the following about Amell's Arrowverse return, which was teased in the Arrowverse tie-in comic book Earth Prime. Okay, so this is the quote from Eric Wallace. As soon as our final season was announced, we knew we wanted Stephen to come back and reprise his iconic role as Oliver Queen. After all, it was Oliver who originally launched Barry Allen on his heroic path. That's why everyone on Team Flash felt so strongly that it was important to create a full circle moment with Oliver's return in the final season of The Flash. The result is an epic yet emotional episode we hope Arrowverse fans will enjoy. It's all to say thank you to everyone for watching and supporting our show throughout 9 wonderful years. We absolutely cannot wait for everyone to get to see Grant and Stephen saving the world together again. And yes, there will be thrills, chills and tears. So there you have it, that is the official announcement by the CW and Eric Wallace, the showrunner of The Flash, that Oliver Queen is going to be appearing in Season 9. Now, let's first off talk about my opinions about this. This is amazing because obviously Oliver is an OG in terms of the Arrowverse. He is the original superhero, and like Eric Wallace talked about, it just makes complete sense to bring Stephen back for the Flash's final season, considering that this could be the end of the Arrowverse, well beyond like Superman, Lois and Gotham Knights. So now is the perfect time to bring back Stephen for one last appearance as Oliver Queen, aka the person who started out the Arrowverse. And so what's even more interesting is the fact that David Ramsey is going to be appearing in this exact same episode along with Keenan Lonsdale and Sendil Ramamurthy and probably more people. So this episode, episode 9 of season 9, is lining up to be a huge episode, like a massive episode. So it's definitely a crossover type episode. Don't know exactly what's happening in the story, apart from the fact that Eric Wallace has been teasing that this episode is going to be very emotional, which obviously makes a lot of sense considering that this is kind of going to be a goodbye and farewell episode to a lot of these characters. And so as the article mentions, this is Amell's first appearance since Arrow ended and Crisis finished. Obviously there's going to be questions about how Oliver is going to be returning in this episode. Is he going to be coming in the form of the Spectre, or is he going to be actual Oliver Queen? How are they going to get around this? I'm not entirely sure as of right now, but I'm sure they're going to find a good way to make it make sense. I would say I'm most excited to see Barry and Oliver on screen together. That's obviously something that we haven't seen in a while, as I did mention before. And seeing Oliver on screen with John Diggle is going to be pretty sick, because John pretty much in the future of the Arrowverse is just going to be the Superverse version of the character, so it's good to see that it's not just John Diggle showing up in episode 9, but it's also Oliver Queen, so it's going to be like the original duo showing up again, which is obviously very exciting. And so let's go back to Eric Wallace's quote. So he says that everyone in Team Flash, obviously the people behind the scenes he is inferring to, felt so strongly that it was important to create a full circle moment with Oliver's return in the final season of The Flash. I think that is entirely true, makes a lot of sense, and like I've said before, I think the final episode of The Flash is going to be a full circle moment as well, but that's going to be more to do with the Flash and Reverse Flash, potentially running back in time to the moment that Reverse Flash kills Barry's mum. But in another way, this is just a different kind of full circle. This is a full circle moment for the fans, but also for the characters themselves, because obviously Oliver and Barry, like literally Oliver was Barry's mentor at the start when he became the Flash for the first time, and that's where they created their bond. So I do agree that it's very important that Oliver actually showed up in the Flash's final season. And so as to why this isn't the final episode of the show, I think they want to make it Flash centric, and so that's why they've gone for episode 9 to have this huge episode rather than making it episode 12 or episode 13. I have a feeling they got a big plan for those final 2 episodes, because as you guys know, this season is 13 episodes long, so this means episode 9 is obviously towards the end of the show, but not exactly, and so I think it's a good spot. And so the result of this episode, and obviously everyone coming together, is an epic yet emotional episode that Eric Wallace hopes that fans will enjoy, and I'm sure we will, and it definitely seems epic considering they bring in so many people. Like, it's really actually hard to imagine how big this episode's going to be, because there's just so many points that are going to play out with all of these different characters. And so apparently it's also going to be a thank you to everyone for watching and supporting the show over the last 9 years. And so we're going to see Grant and Steven saving the world together again. And yes, there will be thrills, chills and tears as we get into this big kind of crossover episode. So that is the huge news that we needed to talk about in this video. What do you guys think of this, and what type of story do you think we're going to get? Is this going to be a full-on crossover episode? Because I feel like there is a strong inkling in me that wants to say yes, it's going to be a massive episode, there's going to be a big villain that they're going to take down, and it's going to call on all of these Arrowverse heroes to come back and try and defeat whoever the villain is. Or is it going to be like a team up kind of villain episode versus a bunch of Arrowverse heroes, considering that we have Bloodwork in this episode, and I don't think Bloodwork is going to be the big bad that Barry's going to be like, okay, right, I need Oliver Queen, I need John Diggle, I need Kid Flash, you know, I need all of these extra people. So I don't think Bloodwork is that big, but that obviously leads me to think maybe there is some sort of villain team up that could include Bloodwork. And so as to the amount that Steven's going to be showing up, it's most likely just going to be limited to this one episode, as this episode has obviously been teased as a big crossover episode with a bunch of characters showing up, and I just think it's hard to believe that they're going to get like 2 whole episodes in this 13 episode run of the final season to do a crossover. I feel everything is going to be focused on the Flash for the most part. Obviously there is some other crossovers like Nicole Main showing up as Nia Now earlier in the season, but also you have the return of Javicia Leslie as Batwoman, also playing Red Death as well. So this season is definitely making up time and space for these Arrowverse characters to come back as one kind of big nostalgic season, but at the same time I feel like they have to wrap up everything to do with the Flash, all its individual characters. And so yeah, that's pretty much it, but it really makes me question who else is gonna show up. At this rate, I feel like it's more and more likely that someone like Melissa Benoist playing a Supergirl could show up, and that's only because Steven has agreed and all these other people have agreed to come back, and it's clear that they've obviously put out a good pitch, that being Eric Wallace and his team, to all of these different actors who are returning, because they've convinced them to come for this one big episode. So what's the chance of someone like Melissa Benoist returning for this episode? I feel like it's definitely shot up, I'm not going to say it's like a 50-50 right now. I think it's a bit less than that. I think it's more like 30-70. But before this, it really felt like a kind of 95 to 5% chance that Melissa would show up, considering she's very busy. But it must be noted that Steven's busy as well, Keenan Lonsdale's busy, so it's not like they are just roaming around Vancouver and Eric Wallace was like, oh, come back to the show. Obviously this takes a lot of scheduling, so I really do wonder who else is going to be showing up in episode 9 of season 9 in the Flash's final season. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. Also in the comments, leave any theories you have about the actual story of this big episode. And if you like what you see on my channel, please be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. Also, I have merchandise, which is now available in the store, link in the description below. It's the dctvshow.tmail.com. All support will go back to the channel, so I really appreciate it. That is for a limited time only, this specific design for the hoodies, the t-shirts and everything. So now is the time to get some merchandise if you want to support the channel. So thank you once again, and thanks to all of you guys who are members and have been supporting me. This is my 3rd video into the new year, and this is obviously very exciting, and we're getting ramped up for The Flash as it comes back in February next month. So it's just over 1 month. I really can't wait to start covering it, so stick around, guys. I'm going to give you all the Flash coverage you need, but for now, thank you guys so much for watching, and you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.
I see red.